a beginner's guide to road tripping in a Tesla. Join me as I head here from the south coast of England all the way up to sunny Scotland in the very early hours of tomorrow morning. We're taking this 2020 Tesla Model 3 Performance all the way up there to deliver it to a customer. There's tons of upgrades on this one, so I'm going to show you what we've done to the car, show you how to supercharge, show you how to plan the route and all of that. So I'm leaving in the very early hours of tomorrow morning. Going to head off now, charge the car, get some sleep, and I'll talk to you in just a few seconds. It's now 2:32 a.m. on a very damp and wet Thursday morning, and you may be thinking, how much planning have you done, how much thinking have you done into this trip? Now, I'm quite an organised person. If I am doing a big cross-country road trip in an electric car, I will normally spend a little bit of time the night before planning a trip. However, in a Tesla, this is a completely different story, so I have genuinely done no planning for today, for this trip. I've never driven an electric car this far. It's about 430 miles up to just outside Glasgow where we're going this morning, but that's absolutely not a worry at all. So I'm going to jump on the screen now in the Tesla literally just before I set off. I'm going to put in the destination. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to plan a route on the Tesla. Then it really is as simple as just tapping on the box here that says navigate and typing in our destination. So we've got Google Maps built in here. And I'm just going to type in the name of the town. So we're heading to a little town just outside Glasgow, and if I click here, that's the town there. So it's found it, and all I have to do is press on this little navigate arrow here and it calculates the route. So using the inbuilt SIM card in the phone, straight away found the car, found the destination, I say. And boom, just like that, it's dropping me into navigation. So as you can see there from the screen grab, it's chosen 3 superchargers for the entire way up, and it shows me the expected percentage of the battery that I'll get to that supercharger and how long I need to stay there to continue my journeys. So bearing in mind this drive without stops is easily almost about 7.5 hours, we can now see what those supercharger stops look like. So if we look here, it's asking me to stop at Warwick for 25 minutes. It's asking me to stop at Charnock Richard for another 30 minutes. And then again at Gretna Green for 15 minutes, meaning I'll arrive there with 9% at 11:50. So that's the prediction. Let's see how we actually get on. This blue line here is the route of our first leg up to Warwick. So let's crack on, shall we? Well, we made it, and just over 2 hours and we're sat in Warwick on the supercharger now. Happy days, really happy with the progress. I'm not going to show you anything outside just yet. It's pitch black outside still and it's absolutely pouring it down. So I'll show you something, and hopefully at the next supercharger stop I can show you how all that works in the daylight, which will be much better viewing. But for now I'm going to hop inside, run to the bathroom, grab a coffee, and then we'll be back on the road. Talk to you soon. Back again. So I thought now would just be a good time to show you a little bit of what the Tesla screen looks like whilst you're driving. So it's really split, a third on the right hand side, and that's essentially the key driver information. So this is what you would typically have on the display in front of the driver on a car, I guess, with 2 screens. And then the left portion, the left 2/3 there, is reserved mainly for the navigation. So we've got big Google Maps on there, satellite view at the moment, and that's given us our turn-by-turn directions. So if we look at the very top right of the screen over here, you'll see that showing us our current speed. So really handy there. It's the first place I look when my eyes move across. It's the first place I see on the screen, so it's really easy to see. And then just to the left of that, we've got the traffic sign reading and the current cruise control speed. So because that's blue underneath the word 70, we're cruising at 70, so nice and easy. And then just underneath that, you can of course see the Tesla's interpretation of what the computer is seeing on the road. So there's cameras all around the car, and it puts together that computer generated image, so you can see exactly what's around you. And then on the left, we've got this massive, I guess, satellite view of the world around us, and then our route there. So you can see it's 7.2 miles till our next exit or next change of road. And just underneath here, I can see that we're going to get to our next supercharger at 7:45, which is in 28 minutes, 23 miles away, and I'll get there, it's estimating with 18% range. Now, I found that range guessometer is actually really good in the Tesla. If you cruise at the speed limit, you know, you're not doing any faster than that, you will genuinely get there normally within 1 or 2% of what it estimates. So it is a good guesser, and it helps you plan those routes really effectively. You may notice now on the screen that the two lines indicating the lane I am in right now are solid blue. That's essentially a lane keep assist with adaptive cruise control. So if I indicate out of the lane to move across, you see it deactivates it. But if I double tap again, really easy there, it'll maintain my speed and keep me in the lane. This is using the most basic, the most free version of Autopilot in the Tesla. You don't have to pay for this, but if you do pay a few £1,000s through the app, the Tesla app, you can upgrade that. Some cars do come with it, but it's quite rare, and essentially that will help you with the lane change as well. But the basic version is pretty good, and it's essentially, yeah, adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist. You can see there it says the words preconditioning battery for fast charging. What this is doing is it's essentially using the onboard heater to warm up the battery of the car. The car will charge much quicker with a warmer battery. It's 8 degrees outside at the moment, and obviously as I'm travelling up the motorway, there's cold air rushing all around the car, and it's making that battery actually quite cold. So by preconditioning the battery or warming it up, it means that when I get to the charging station, the battery will actually charge much quicker. So because I've put such a far away destination in the settings, I've let the car do the thinking. It will find the supercharger stations automatically, as I mentioned earlier, and when it knows that I'm getting close to one that it's chosen, it will start to precondition that battery. So early on in the early hours of this morning, I was about 40 minutes away from the charger when it started preconditioning. The car was just on its first leg of the day, so the whole car was cold. Whereas now it's done it on this second leg about 20 minutes away, so the battery would have still been a bit warm from earlier. But yeah, it's essentially preconditioning that battery, so when we get on the charger, we can take the maximum charge speed that the car can handle, so that we can get back on the road as quick as possible. So it's a really good Tesla thing there. The Tesla Model 3 has been on sale in the UK now about 4 years, and it's such a popular car. If you know what they look like, as soon as you've seen one on the road, you'll start to see them absolutely everywhere. They're a super popular car, and they're genuinely my favourite car, the performance one that I'm in now, so you can see why so many people are buying them. There's essentially two versions of the car. So there's the original version, which came out at the back end of 2019, and then Tesla refreshed the model right at the end of 2020. And that's the models that we see on the road now. That's the newest version. There has been slight tweaks in that time, but that's been the biggest change at the end of 2020. And essentially what they did in that period was they added a heat pump to the car, so they made it even more efficient. So those new versions now are crazy efficient. They made the boot have an electric opening, so it's just a button to do that rather than a manual opening. They updated the center console. They put 2 wireless phone chargers in there and just made it look a little bit different. It's a really nice upgrade. A lot of people do put a wireless phone charger in the facelift models, and it's a really popular and cheap, easy upgrade to do, so you can see why people do that, but it's now built in the latest models. And what we call the chrome delete, so all the trim around the windows, around the wing mirrors, and on the front cameras on the side of the car in the newer models, that's all black, whereas originally it was chrome. So again, that's something that we've done to quite a lot of our Teslas. We'll install that chrome delete kit. It makes the car look a lot better in our opinion, but on certain colours, the chrome also does look quite good, so it's really down to personal preference and what you would prefer. And on top of that, there are essentially 3 versions of the Tesla Model 3. So the cheapest one that you'll see on the road is the Standard Range Plus, or it's now been relabeled as the rear wheel drive. So on the latest versions, that gets you over 200 miles of range. Amazing features inside. They all come highly spec'd, but it is kind of the smallest battery. It's roughly a 50 kilowatt hour battery, but because the Teslas are so efficient, yeah, you do get just over 200 miles. On the pre-facelift model, the 2019 and 2020 versions, you probably get about 195 miles, like real world range. That's real world range, properly driving on the motorway at proper speeds with all the heating on, everything like that. It's also 2-wheel drive, hence rear wheel drive has been renamed to. And then your more expensive versions, you've got the long range and the performance. So they're both a 4-wheel drive car. They've got a motor at the front, a motor at the back, and of course more expensive, but they both have a really similar sized, if not the same battery. So just over 70 kilowatt hour battery. Pre-facelift, you're getting about 240, 250 miles, and then post-facelift 2021 onwards, you're getting more like 270 thereabouts, if not over 300 in the right conditions with good weather. So quite a big difference in the range there between the rear wheel drive and the long range and the performance. The performance over the long range gives you some nice extra upgrades as well. So you get a carbon fibre spoiler on the back, you get nice red brake calipers, you get different wheels, some really nice alloy options on the performance, and that's more or less it, apart from a ridiculously fast 0 to 60 time. And now a top tip for charging your Tesla. These charging units are in pairs. So when it's fairly busy like this, you want to try and make sure you don't park next to anybody. Now, it's not because you're being antisocial. It means that you can get the maximum power, the maximum charge speed. So if 2 people are on ones next to each other, they're all labelled A and B, you won't be able to get the maximum charge speed. So let me show you now how quick and easy it is to get charged here. We pull out the top connector, that's us, put it next to the car, press the button here, and plug it in. So if we hop back in the car now, starting to charge, boom, that's it. 25 minutes remaining to continue our trip to our next supercharger, the last one hopefully, should be. And we can see here that charge speed is ramping up straight away. It's a 150 kilowatt charger, this one, so we should get more or less straight up to that, and we're off. So time for a little walk, stretch the legs, probably another coffee. Got my bacon bath, got my coffee, and it's actually taken me 20 minutes to walk to the services, go to the toilet, stand in the queue at Starbucks, get all this, and walk back to the car. So 25 minutes was the total time it needed. By the time I've eaten this bacon sandwich, potentially the car's going to be waiting for me. So yeah, easy stop there. Let's get back on the road. since we just got off our second supercharging station, I'll just touch on pricing now. I know this is a really contentious issue, and it is a genuine problem. The price of charging your electric car at a high-speed charger like you'd find on the motorway, a rapid charger, it can be really, really expensive, and some networks are horrendously expensive, to the point where if you only charge on the motorway or at these rapid chargers, it can be genuinely more expensive than driving a petrol or diesel car. So it is a real issue. However, in a Tesla, their supercharger networks, their pricing is actually really, really reasonable. They're anywhere from 30 something p to 40 something p. I've never personally seen higher than 45 pence per kilowatt hour. That's the unit that we measure in, as opposed to litres like petrol and diesel. You might pay at home 30, 20 pence per kilowatt hour. So yeah, at a Tesla supercharger station, I've never seen more than, you know, mid-40s, which is amazing, really, considering a lot of the other high-speed charging networks are up at 70 or even 80 pence per kilowatt hour. So charging on the move like we are today is roughly half the cost. Should I be in another electric car reliant on those other networks? Now, I appreciate that Tesla have opened up some chargers on their charge network to all cars. So with the Tesla app, you don't have to own a Tesla. You can charge your non-Tesla at some Tesla supercharger stations. However, this isn't all of them. It's only certain ones, so it's only perhaps useful on certain journeys. Whereas, of course, if you do own a Tesla, you've got full access to the entire supercharger network, of course, which is why they created it. And again, another reason why I think the Teslas are so popular, especially with people that are doing long distances. Perhaps you're, you know, a travelling salesman, for want of a better phrase. You know, you have meetings up and down the country, and you need a reliable car that can do those miles, and you want to go electric for the company car benefits and all that kind of thing. It's exactly why this customer's bought this car. He travels all over the UK. He does so many miles. So yeah, with this and the supercharger network, it's going to be an absolute piece of cake. No worries at all. So just something to bear in mind. If you don't do long journeys, I mean, I think the stat is more than 95% of people with electric cars currently only charge at home. It's something crazy high, and people are only really using these public charger networks on maybe once or twice a year if they're going on that long trip for you know, down south for the summer or whatever it might be. So just have a think about your individual situation, and whether the supercharger network is important to you. It is important to a lot of people, but to some not at all. So it really does depend on your unique and your individual situation, and that's what we do at the Electric Car Guys. Before we source you a car, we'll have that conversation with you, and if you're not quite sure, that's where we can offer some help, some advice, and help to point you in the right direction. Now, something interesting just happened. All day since we set off, we've been headed, as our third and final supercharger stop, we've been headed to Gretna Green. Now, up until 2 minutes ago, that has always been the case. However, I just looked down and I see here that the destination's now changed to Supercharger T-Bay, and I'm thinking, what on earth's going on there? I thought we were going to Gretna. So, if I zoom out here on the map, keep zooming out, let that load, not much phone signal here. Up past Carlisle, Gretna Green's up here, but it's got me stopping way sooner. So if I just get the chargers back up, I can see here that the charger at Gretna's got a little clock, and if I tap on that, it's actually saying 5 minutes wait time, and there's only 4 stalls there. So obviously it knows, because of all the Teslas are connected to the internet all the time, pretty much, it knows that people are heading to that charger, and all the chargers are currently in use, and of course it can see that people are potentially waiting there to get on, and it's saying that I'm going to have to wait 5 minutes. So instead of having me get there and wait 5 minutes, it's taking me to T-Bay, where there are currently 7 free chargers. So quite clever. Just thought I'd show you that. I've actually never encountered that before whilst driving a trip like this in a Tesla. So let's see if we end up going to T-Bay, or it might change us back. So I know the one at T-Bay is a little bit further off the motorway, and the one at Gretna is right off just inside the services. So let's see what happens. We've got half an hour to run till we get there. Hopefully this traffic finishes soon. Let's see where we end up. situation update for you. It's about half an hour since I showed you the clip of it rerouting me. We lost signal for a little while going through the amazing hills, which I'll show you as well. But now that cars come back online, we're now going back to Gretna. So we're back to the original plan. And interestingly, I noticed when it did reroute me to T-Bay, it actually added about 25 minutes to the final time I was getting to the customer's house. So by rerouting back to Gretna, we've got those 25 minutes back. The ETA is looking good again. Hopefully I'll make my train home, fingers crossed. But yeah, we're back on track. We're back off to Gretna, about 45 minutes away from there now. I'll show you some amazing scenery, beautiful part of the country. Not too far to go now, almost there, almost with the customer. So as we get towards the end, I'll just explain a few upgrades that we've done on this car and what we can do for you. So essentially this was more or less a standard Model 3 performance when it came to us. So what we've done is we've fitted the chrome delete kit. I touched on that briefly earlier, but essentially masks out all the chrome around the windows and on the wing mirrors. And we've also done quite a bit more, so more on this than we've done on any other car previously for clients. So we've fitted a really nice Alcantara cover all along the centre console and along the dash as well. So where you'd normally see a wooden strip along the dash, a hole across the front, we've put a cover on there, and it's now Alcantara, so it's matching the door cards. We've also put a screen tilting kit on this. First time I've actually seen one. But essentially allows you to alter the angle of the screen and then turn it left and right. So if it's just a driver in the car, you literally just push one side of the screen and the whole screen faces towards the driver. So sometimes it is a bit of a niggle for people that the screen is over to the left and far away. Well, not really far away, but some people think it is. So yeah, having it tilted towards you is actually a really nice option. We've also put custom alloys on this car, so you may notice they are definitely not the standard Tesla alloy wheels, and brand new Michelin tyres all the way around as well. We've also debadged the car, almost forgot that. So all the Tesla badges were taken off, and we've actually just put the Tesla word, the word Tesla, in the Tesla font of course, across the back as well. So that's how the new Tesla Model 3 Highland is rumoured to be coming. So we've got that on this one, so it already looks like it's one of the brand new ones that's not even available yet. And we've put a black Tesla badge on the front. Photos showing us. Yeah, super cool. But yeah, if you'd like us to do anything like this for you, do get in touch. We love doing this to Teslas. It's really good fun, personalising them for each customer. There's so many options out there to where you can do it to make it really personal for you. And of course, we can source any Tesla Model 3, Model Y, S and X, any type, any age. Just get in touch, and we'd love to do that for you to help as well. So I hope you found this useful. I'll sign off in a second with the customer. Speak to you soon. And there we have it, all done. We've made it to Tesla in Glasgow, which is where we're meeting the customer to drop this off. So yeah, awesome, dead happy with the car. The customer's absolutely chuffed to bits. There she is for the last time. Super easy. I hope you found this video useful. It's genuinely the easiest thing in the world doing a Tesla road trip. No planning required at all, just hop in the car and away you go. But if you do want to do that bit of planning, it's super easy as well. So thanks for watching. If you have been, remember, check out our website and the YouTube channel for more stuff like this.